Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube. Dave here in the garage, Area 51. Got some fancy number plate surrounds to dial in and get onto the old Area 51 project to dress up those, well, kind of finish off that number plate mounts and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. Okay, number plate brackets. I won't let you look just yet. I've just got to wipe the bench down and get all of this stuff and that off of here. I've been spraying around all over the place. You'll notice the new bench, new second-hand bench. Check it out. Kids on e-bikes now. Just get a dirt bike, man. 2-stroke YZ80 or something like that. Be a pussy. Okay, anyway, I designed up these number plate surrounds on the old computer. I designed them in Adobe Illustrator, which is like a graphic design application for making vector artwork. And then from there I could take my AI file, which is the Illustrator file, into a sign plotting file, which is called sign cut or something like that. And anyway, in there I can export my AI files out to a DXF file, and then a DXF file I can send to my friend Rhonda at Pure CNC here in Tauranga. Plug for Rhonda, and she cuts these out 5mm aluminium for me, and then routes out the little decorative bits and stuff that I wanted in there, and that is going to go down there. But if you'll remember my number plate lights that I drilled one crooked, they're now in the wrong place. So I need to have a look at the front, see how this is going to mount on the front too. I'm going to have to change around, take those back out of there, de-lume all my stuff that I loomed in there, desolder my number plate lights and put them out separately, and I'll probably drill out one of these mounting holes to take those little lights, whether I do this a couple of ones in the bottom, which would be probably the most aesthetically pleasing, and that way, you know, they'll sit in, it'll sit about there, but further back. And I have to make a backing plate for both of them as well. Yeah, because I mean my plates won't just sit in them. I'll just grab a plate so I can show you. Come back over to the bench. So that's going to sit in there like so. But I need to make a backing plate so I can bolt the backing plate through, and then I'll bolt, see these holes here, I'll show you when we get there. But I'm just got to make a plate to kind of put into the back of these. And I was thinking of maybe polishing them up a bit. We'll see. I thought about taking that edge off a little bit, rounding off that front edge just a scotch, but we're going to go and have a look at the front bumper and see how that's going to come together. I think there's some holes in the front bumper to bolt to. Snap, crackle, pop. Oh yeah, there is something there. Yeah, that's a bit weird. I knew there was holes, but they're not really any good to me. Unless I have to make up a bracket of some sort to bolt to those, and then I can mount my surround off of there. Hey. Unfortunately we have to have that front number plate too, so bugger. Alrighty, so I'm going to make my backing plates out of steel. So I want to just a bit short of this. It's 440 by 155. pretty squarish. Not quite. 440. Oh, a bit of a ding there. 440. Alright, cut those out, and that'll be my base for there. For that. Right, cutting stuff. Okay, so I made a little boo-boo with my measuring, pretty much straight off the bat. Made them too big. Maybe they're supposed to be 400, not 440. I don't know where I got that measurement from, but better to be too big than too small. Now, go just a little bit short of full width. Alright, so I'll just get some tin snips and cut those corners off. Alright, so marked where I've got to drill a whole bunch of holes, which I'll be bolting this on. Probably drill both at the same time, at least get a couple going, and then I'll bolt them together, and that'll hold them together for me then be able to kind of even them out and get them both kind of close to being the same as possible. You know what I'm saying? Alright, need a piece of wood, center punch, drill. Alright, while we're in the hole drilling bizzo, we might as well drill some holes for these plates. Where's that pencil gone? Okay, so essentially that's my number plate surrounds with a Scody plate inside it. I'll probably just paint these black. I'll make some bracket to hold the front one on, and the back one should be pretty straightforward, which will be that one there, but I'll just have to change around those little number plate lights. I'm going to put them in these bottom two holes so they just shine up onto the number plate. So that's essentially what they'll look like, but possibly with some washers on the front, or maybe I'll put them on the back. Doesn't really matter. I'll put some washers on somewhere, you know what I'm saying? That's about it for today, I reckon. Still, after all of that tracing over the top of things, still managed to get things slightly crooked. Don't know how I do it, but I do. So I have to mark a few places that I need to sort of trim up and tidy up and that. But otherwise, tomorrow I'll probably start making a bracket for the front, I reckon. Enough for today though, see you tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's the next day. Been doing some planning on this front number plate mount, and I've come up with this. And you're probably thinking, what the hell is that? But it is a little bracket, which there will be 2 of, which I will make, and they will weld onto the back of there, and then I'll have either a crossbar or a couple of tabs come out and meet up with those holes on the existing holes on the bumper. So I'm going to set about tracing these out and give me a piece of steel of some sort and make a couple of those, and then I've got to make the tabs. Well, I might do a crossbar, it might give it a little bit more rigidity. I don't know whether it will matter that much, and hopefully that should be enough, and with the frame and stuff, to keep that kind of nice and rigid. But we'll see. But anyway, I'll go and change this battery, and then we'll set about getting a piece of steel and tracing around this stuff and cutting it out. Yeah, it's pissing down outside, so it's middle of summer, so that's good. So it might be a bit tight for working for space down the front of the old Area 51 down there with the door shut, but we'll just have to see how the day progresses. Trace around a couple of these. My little template, you'll see what's going to happen with this in a wee bit, I guess. After I signed off yesterday, it's on my mind. I had this big convoluted complex plan, and I thought, can I change that around or what? Make it a bit simpler. So, cut me 2 of those. I was going to have a crack with the plasma cutter that I got before Christmas, but I really need to get the truck out the way to have a play with that. And yeah, the truck's got my Uber seats on the back there, so I don't want to get them wet. So kind of been moonlighting a little bit as a hot rod Uber driver, and I just put the people on the back and tie them on with some ratchet straps, and we're good to go. But yeah, don't want to get the seats wet because the passengers don't like that. I only work when it's fine on the Uber, but I just want to make sure, you know, the seats stay dry, since we haven't got a back on the Uber truck. So I can't park that outside. So we're going to have to trip over our feet and trip over the truck and trip over everything again today, just work around it. So let's cut these out. Okay, so that's my rough cut done. Now I'm just going to try and smooth it out a bit with the flat disc and see how that comes up. Alright, so she's quite close, but just going to take this curve down. This is the bit that has to be quite accurate. One more little pass with the old flat disc, and we should be good to go, I think. Okay, so that's those kind of pretty well dulled. They need some like final, you know, smoothing out on the edges. They're a bit jagged, but I need to cut another piece that's going to tie those two together on the back of here, the bit that actually bolts onto the thing. Will it need any bracing? Probably should, eh? Anyway, needs to be about 180. 180 millimeters is equivalent to about 7 inches. Secret to a happy marriage, apparently. If I make it a bit longer, I wouldn't mind tipping the edge of it just to make it a bit more robust. So if I go, say 40 mil, which is equivalent to 1.75 inches, for you imperial speaking folk. What did I say? 180, about there. Where's my square? Did a tidy Kiwi, eh? I put my things away. Right, I'll just go ahead and cut that out because that pretty much, as far as video content goes, just looks like cutting it out with a grinder. If you see that little black line on there, that is roughly where my bolt holes have got to go on that curve. So what I'm thinking is, hang on, so if that's like my center where the bolts have got to go, I want to put a fold in about there. And I also want to try and get a little bit of a curve onto this face. I'm just not 100% sure how I'm going to do it, but I've got to do a, fold this back into there so it's a past 90 kind of fold, but not sure how I'll do that. It might be able to get it with the press so far and then clean it up with a hammer or something. Lost my pen lid, there it is. So here's my rulering device. So measure, just eyeball that if I can get my big Mickey Mouse gloves to work. And that's going to be my fold back, like that. Let's fold, that's crease, holes. So, just going to square this up. Okay, cool. Is that going to work? Oh, maybe I should have done this stuff before I cut it out, you know what I'm saying? Maybe cut it oversized. It might be alright. I need a little bit of a thing on this one. Didn't really do what I wanted it to do, but no, it didn't do nothing. Will I be able to get the other one though? I might be able to get that fold in. I might as well do that. My plan was to, how does this work again? Kind of get a bit of a curve, a back curve into that to match that, but I don't think it's really going to matter that much because this is going to be what, this arc in here is going to be what squares it up to the bumper. So what I might do is square it all up and then weld that onto there. I need to find a way to kind of get it all exactly the same. So, something like that anyway. So it'll end up be like so, you know what I'm saying? That'll be alright. Alright, how square is this? That one's pretty good actually, that way. What about this way? Actually, they're actually both pretty square. Sweet, that's alright then. Before I do that though, I will actually trim some of the back end of this off. It doesn't need to be as much on there as what I've got on there. It just needs to be a bit of a kickback to give it a little bit of rigidity, I guess. Right, just trim that up and then we'll set this up to tack it together, I reckon. Okay, so I think I just had the thing recording when it wasn't supposed to be. Anywho, got this steel bench here. I'm gonna use to set this up. I wonder if I should get it square. I wonder how square the edge of it is. It's not like a true welding bench, but might be alright. So I bring that down to 3 inches there. Just like that. So that squared them up. And it's got to go that way. So then I should be able to get a couple of tacks on there. Maybe just on the bottom. And we should be good, hopefully. Yeah? Okay, so we'll get the TIG set up and probably should have my glasses. Should be alright, just getting a couple of tacks on without spectacles for now, but she's fairly square. Alright, no, she's pretty good. Next question is, do I weld that up, clean it up before I do the next stage? I think we'll be alright to do that. I think. Got to drill a couple of holes in here yet, so I've got to work out where they got to go. So should I do that first? Nah, I'll do that later. I feel like welding now. Okay, let's do that. Let's do this. A little bit more vintage. Okay, so come with me. Got that all welded up. I'm not gonna lie, I did actually just go and do like a clean up pass over it with no filler rod just to sort of clean it up a bit and got some more porosity in it. But this is the plan. That's gonna get bolted onto those 2 bolt holes through there, like that. So what I've got to do now, before I weld it onto that backing plate, is mark my holes and drill those before I go too much further. Sound like a plan? So for that I need, oh, there's my glasses. Might need those. Some sort of measuring device and a pen. So those 2 holes are 90mm centre to centre. So just double check that. Yeah, 90 centre to centre, so I'll go and find the centre of this and drill my holes. Alright, so that's 185 to the outside, so that'll be 92.5, is that right? 92.5, and was it 90? So I'm going to go 45 either side. One centre, one centre. It's not going to really work. So just have to eyeball it. 15 and 10. Okay, right. Just took my frame and all that off, and I've given this side a bit of a DA. I'm remembering where my line is that I've got to fit this to. I'll go and check. Just having a quick coffee while I was taking all the nuts and bolts off. They take a little while. Yeah, basically I'm going to weld that onto the back of there, and then that'll be my supporting plate for my number plate and the frame. The frame will kind of help keep it sort of more rigid, but yeah, should be good to go. So I just got to go and check that it is going to land where I want it to land, and then I'll put some marks on here and we'll square it up and weld it on. It's just got to line up with these bottom holes here, and then I'm going to work out my centering it. Good. Outside of that hole. That's where it's got to go. Pretty good right there. Alright, finish my coffee, then we'll weld that sucker on. Hey guys, so I was having a bit of trouble even with tacking onto this stuff here, which is electrogal, which has got a kind of galvanized coating on it. I did start trying to TIG weld it, but it just kept kind of spitting back up into my tungsten, and like I wasn't even dipping it, and it was ended up balling up my tungsten. So I'm gonna just MIG weld it now. Just run a few little tacks along here and be done with it. Haven't done any really MIG welding for a little while, so it might take me a bit to get this dialed in. What are we up to? Okay, so whooped the bejesus out of that just then. I got frustrated with the TIG, putting too much heat and then grinding iron, tungstens and stuff, and then I just got the old MIG out and just went wah, just kind of like zapped it all the way down. I was kind of concentrating on getting just nice little tacks, like lay some nice little tacky dime things, and then I stood up, looked at it, and it's like, but it is hammering up okay, and I think once we get the frame and that kind of bolted up to it, it will pull it into the shape somewhat more. But there is a real big pucker right underneath that brace there, which I can't get to. Did that get under there? No. But it is coming round slowly, so I'll just keep getting this to a point where it's like 85% good, and then we'll call it done, and then I'll sand it up and get it ready for some primer. Okay, so got those in some wattle, what do they call it, epoxy etch primer. So I'll just leave those up there to kind of dry off for now. I've got some stuff I want to do on the frames. I want to polish them up a bit, see if I can bling them out a little bit, and paint some insert stuff. But might stop raining now. I might be able to open the door and kind of get some air flowing through here. Humidity's just gone through the roof. Okay, updates. Probably can't see this at all, but I've painted those two backing plates black, just rattle can. Had some lunch, it's good, thanks. And now I'm going to address what I want to do on these surrounds. So I just want to round off this edge ever so slightly, just so it's not a kind of hard machined edge, and then just give them a bit of the faces a bit of a polish up. Yeah, then we'll move on to the next step from there. But start with, I've got this little paddy thing on the die grinder thing, and we'll set about doing some stuff with that, like so, on my lap. Alrighty, so rounded off the edges. I just started testing a little bit of polish on on the front there, and so now I'm going to set about doing some polishing with this thing. Man, making things clean sure is messy work. So I got both of these kind of polished up to the level I want them to be. Now I've got to kind of like clean out all the polish out of the grooves and the holes and stuff. Hopefully I can just do that with a bit of soapy water and a rag or something like that. I didn't actually think of this before, but you can see like little polish directional marks and stuff like that in the aluminium, and I actually quite like it. It kind of fits in better with, you know, if it was too flash. I like the look that it's going to look like it's been polished, manually polished, if you know what I mean. Little things, I know, but it's kind of just, you know, again, it's going to fit with other parts of the car that aren't perfect, if you know what I mean. Like, I mean, these are good, don't get me wrong. I'm really happy with how these came out and stuff. And, you know, like you could have polished that up or sent them away and got them chromed, and then you have that kind of flawless SEMA kind of finish. Not what we were after. So, yeah. So I'm just going to give these a bit of a clean up, and then we'll get some paint out. Alright, so got me some paint, some black, and my kind of, what's that colour again? Aqua. I think that's what I used on the trim on the 51. I'm going to do some of this in black, some of it in the aqua. It's like that Swedish band. Like that. So let's go. Why won't this chair go in anymore? There's a drive shaft laying on the floor under it. Yeah, this black's no good. I thought I'd just use some black enamel, but it was all skinned over. I think I should just bin this. Go grab some good stuff back in the sec. Okay, so got some one-shot black, so that's nice and rich black. You have to be rich to buy it, and it's really dark. Okay, so that's all the black done on both of them. So now doing the aqua, you know, not the band from Europe, the paint. Hey guys, so that's both of them painted, all the insidey stuff. Something I have noticed with in that area where the writing is, some tooling like marks that have been left behind. They're actually kind of identical on both sides, so they're kind of all in the same places. I didn't really think about that when I decided to paint that. I probably should have got in there with maybe a Dremel or something and given them a little bit of a kind of wake up call maybe. So I might have to do that once that dries. Just get in there, maybe something just to knock those down a little bit and then recoat the aqua. If anyone's interested, that was a AS Hanover #2 pointed writer. You can see that thumbs in the way, and just one shot black and one shot aqua on there. So good paint. As I've said before, kind of getting hard to get in New Zealand. I don't think there's an agent here anymore. There was one of the hot rod shops down south or down the line, Lower North Island, was dealing it. They're now doing Ronin. Don't know what that's like, except expensive. So I did hear on some of the pinstriping pages and that guys were having trouble getting hold of one shot even in the States since PPG have bought it out or some shit like that. Who knows? I don't. But anyway, that's them painted. I'm going to put this stuff away and then we'll go and have a look at what we've got to do next. Or I can, oh yeah, they're nice and dry already, choice. Put that on there. I have to kind of dig into my number plate lights again and undo that harness and cut the wires and prep them up to rejoin them because they're going to get moved, and then I have to find something to plug up these little holes. Hey guys, so little update. I've been chipping away at this. I de-loomed my wires that come out of there. What are they called? Number plate light wires. And I've put a couple of these little weather plugs and that on there. And over here we have them mounted on those bottom holes there. So, and I've just put some reverts in just to make it easier to bolt on and off the old number plates and stuff. I don't know why I didn't rivsert it back when I made this bracket, but I didn't, and I just found out I only had 2 nylock nuts left over, so I had a whole bunch of 6mm rivserts, so carefully drilled into there and did that business. So next up is actually just kind of fit this up for the final time. That number plate's a bit rugged, but may get them remade. I can get them remade, but it costs a couple of $100 sort of thing, so I won't bother just yet. Anyway, I'll plug these in and get into it. There she is, bolted up in place. I just tested these number plate lights. That one's not working. Found out why. I managed to rip the wire off again from there. They're so freaking fragile, little epoxy crap. I'm regretting using those now, to be honest. They just seem too weak, too fragile to be fit for purpose. So may revisit the number plate light again. I do have this style here, which is the old BMC sort of style, but I haven't really got anywhere to put it unless I drilled holes in the bumper. Last resort sort of shit, you know. Don't really want to do that. But if you got any ideas for something kind of cool as a number plate light, let me know, or better quality little button style ones like that, send me a link. What do you reckon? It's pretty swoosh in there, didn't it? Alright, now I've just got to put the front one together and bolt that on. I'm actually thinking I might put rivserts into that as well. Does kind of make it easier in a lot of ways. But yeah, cool, eh? Okay, so I had the wrong size nuts and bolts. They wouldn't fit through the holes in the bumper, but round 2, hopefully these will be long enough. Okay, so pissing down again, but it's also 8 o'clock at night. Check it out. Oh yeah, boy. Even though it's not laying that low, because it's up on, it's actually at ride height, and it's on these dollies. Something I did think about welding bolts into the holes when I was making that bracket for the front, you know, just so that it had bolts. You just bolt it through, whack some nuts on, tighten it up. And I thought, no, I'll put bolts in, there's a little bit of wiggle room to get it straight and stuff. Didn't factor in getting tools in there to get to the head of the bolt, you see. So I had to sacrifice a little, this was from a Kawasaki toolkit, I think. So now we have another special tool, number 276. But that's it. Got my, well, I've got to fix that bloody thing. I'm going to have to start writing a list of all the little things I've broken and stuff. I've got to sort that number plate light out again. Front one's done. I'm pretty happy with that. I'd rather not have one on the front, but kind of got to. That's the law here in New Zealand. But yeah, that's it. Big thanks to Rhonda from Pure CNC Works in Tauranga for cutting out these plate surrounds for us. Dealing with my designs. Hopefully it was a nice clean one for you, Rhonda. So yeah, and big thanks to everyone who's watching the channel, following along with the build. I know some of the videos haven't been terribly exciting, you know, good. Well, I don't know, I've just been a bit out of sorts when I'm coming to do stuff lately. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I need a holiday. Time off work, time off this, time off something. And yeah, but coming into the new year, we're well nearly in February. We'll try to get a bit more focused and start having a bit more fun again. But yeah. So yeah, anyway, thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't subscribed, like, share, comment. Let us know what you think about that stupid little tail and number plate light. If you've got a link or a source for something better than those little jinky bloody things, let us know down in the comments. That would be awesome. And yeah, till next time, take it easy and peace. Don't forget we're on Instagram, Facebook as well, but that don't really matter. This is where it's happening, YouTube. See you next week.